welcome to Whitmore's Trains. It was a busy week this week. I finally got my 15th train running. Stick around, I'll show you how I did it. Okay, this is where the mountain was going to go, and the first thing I had to do was build access, so I cut out that slice so I can come up from underneath and I can reach all the way back to those monitors. So I should be able to access everything from here. Okay, this is the base of the mountain. To get that first layer, I took printing paper, cut it up into little pieces, taped it together into a shape that I liked, and then laid it on top of 1.5 inch foam. Marked it up with a Sharpie, and then cut it out with a multi-tool. The second layer, I just took the first layer, laid it down on 1.5 inch foam, marked it up with a Sharpie, and cut it out with a multi-tool. I glued them together with regular wood glue. Here I set an 031 curve down to make sure it still fits, and played with the portals to kind of get an idea where I want them to be. Here I just moved it over to my workbench table and set it back up so I could work on the stack of the foam and also to work on the wiring and the automation. Here's another photo of the templates that I built, and I just used notebook paper and cut them up into little pieces and taped them to the shape I needed. Then I put them on the 1.5 inch foam, marked them out, and cut them. And these are the two pieces that I use to formulate the tunnel, because it's a curved tunnel, as you can see. And just with the two pieces, I just replicate them and stack them on top of one another and glue them. And here I am, 5 levels up, and just gluing with wood glue in between. It eventually gets thick enough that the clamps won't reach anymore, so you have to use heavy items. This is what the inside of the tunnel looks like before I did any shaping. And this is the last of the rear foam stack. And this is after that piece. And this is the template for the very top of the lower part of the mountain project. With the top mocked up, I can set it on there. Now it's going to be removable, and I need to be able to take it off to get into the tunnel. So it also is the base of the second part of the tunnel that I'll talk about later. So I thought it'd be a good idea to use paint cans because they seem pretty heavy, and they are until this happens. So don't use paint cans. But you know what? I got most of it cleaned up. I took the opportunity to finish this wall up as well while I was there. Okay, so I brought it back over to the mountain to do a mock-up of the second part of this project that I haven't done yet. And it's to put one more track that goes around the city, and kind of where that level is will be like a 5-foot-long bridge, and it'll come out of that portal, and it's going to go around the York building, and then kind of go down over top of, I guess, that silver car, and in between the green building and that track, and it'll come back onto the mountain through a tunnel. All right, so I pulled the mountain off the layout and put it back on my workbench so I can work on the track and the automation. So it's only an 031 curve, and I didn't want the train to just go around in loops, get kind of boring, so I decided to put a place for it to stop in the mountain. So to do that, I just isolated the center rail of about a 6-inch long section. I used two insulator pins on that center section, so when the train comes by, it stops. The train rollers need to be, within 6 inches of each other, or it'll be too long and it won't stop. So for that to work, you'd have to use a trolley or a speeder or one of those little those beeps. All right, this is the bottom of the layout, and those are 3 wires coming from the track from above. And 1 wire is the common outside rail. 1 wire is the 6-inch stop-start section of the center rail. And then the 3rd wire is the rest of the center rail. And that center rail, that's not in the stop-start section, it's always energized, and the ground is continuous too. It's not cutting any spot. We are only interrupting that 6-inch section. All right, these are the relays that I'm using, and you can see I'm using 10 volt. So I'm using a 10 volt post on my Z4000. You could use a regular transformer and set your speed to go faster, but with 031, this is as fast as I thought it needed to go because it's just a small little track. So I've got 031 going to A1 and S and 15, and then the ground is to A minus up there on the top right, and then the output of this relay is the center pin. I think it's 16. You can see these relays here. If it's blinking a solid, red first, that means it's outpulsing the 10 volts to that stop-start section, and the train's going. So it does it for about 12 seconds, and then when it goes to off and then red blink, it's actually not sending power for those 12 seconds. So 12 seconds was about as long as it took for the train to go around the loop. And but it's if I were going faster, I'd have to change that. So or slower, I'd have to probably change it as well. So it's using a fixed voltage like 10 volts. It's really easy to set your timing. All right, here's where I begin my first scenicking and my first attempt at cutting foam. So as you can tell, I've started to kind of cut in some detail, and I put it on the layout to see what it looks like. And it's not bad. In the front, I just kind of rounded it over, and I haven't painted or anything, so I can absolutely get this better when I bring it all back down after I do the second level of the mountain and then do the mountaintop. I can just do it all then and paint it. So I did take the opportunity to paint the inside of the tunnel now. So I started with a flat black just as a base coat to paint onto, and then I switched to a silver, a watered down silver that I just brushed over top of the flat black, and you can tell it's got it looks almost like regular rock, and since this is a tunnel, it needed to be darker. So I went back over with a watered down black to kind of give me, I think, the look I was shooting for. So, and then I painted the spot around where the 031 track is going to go, just so that's done now. So I wanted to add some LED lighting into the tunnel. So I got a board, I don't know, was that 12 by 12? And I just took a strip of LED lights and just went around and around to get on there as many as I could. Now, I don't know, there might be like 8 feet of lights on there. So I put the LED board on top of the tunnel, marked around it with a Sharpie, and recessed that board with the foam sculpting tool. And then those LEDs have a controller on them that you can't disconnect from the light strip. So I hid it in the mountain, as you see, and then dropped the power end down through the rock wall into the bottom, where that's the end that plugs into the wall. It's 110 volt wall wart. So then that I can pick up the entire mountain, drop it down into my layout, into that slice that I showed you in the beginning of the video, and then plug it into the wall power. Yeah, it works. All right, so those are Govee lights. I got them on Amazon around Christmas time, and they're pretty cheap. So they're like any of those other app-controlled lights. You can, set color, set scenes. So there's just a couple of pictures of me messing around with reds and probably blues. So that's about all of it. This is just another test run with the blue light and the train going around. So from different angles, just to give you guys different views of the layout. So there's one, and there comes another. So it really turned out well. I mean, it's exactly what I wanted to be. I can't wait until I get the second level up, because then that mountain's going to be about 24 inches tall, which is going to be pretty sweet. So I know there's a lot of plywood color in there, but now I've got two colors. I've got pink and I've got tan. So it's been a really good start of the new year. All right, well, you guys have a great day. If you got any questions, let me know. Support is always awesome, so give me a comment, and talk to you guys later. Have a good day.